Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 6 of season 3 of Blue Bay 2 Buddies, where today we're going to be talking about the MLB playoffs, which just started yesterday. We're going to make our picks, even though they already started. We knew who we were going to pick beforehand. I already made my bracket. If you saw my video that I posted on my main channel, you already saw my picks. Jackson will make his picks. Of course, we got college football. And then if we have any other time, we could dabble into NFL or maybe even talk some college basketball. It'll depend on how much we actually talk about these other things. But please welcome back, as per every episode, best in the business, producer Jackson.
What's going on? That's the wrong camera. Not the best in the business anymore. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I just watched a bunch of the wild card games yesterday. Honestly, not a lot of the results that we were thinking. All right, so for some of them.
If anyone watched my picks video, every single wild card team that I picked lost in game one. Now there are 3 game sets. But every single team that I picked lost.
Rough start. We're lucky that it's all in series.
I want to first talk about the Rays, because that game was unacceptable. 4 errors in a
really
playoff
bad.
game.
That was some bad defense.
From a team that's normally one of the better fielding teams in the MLB, it was
not good.
Like, they had a pass ball. Jose Siri had a really bad drop. And Jose Siri is normally a really good defender. That's normally what they have him in for, is his speed and defense. Jordan Montgomery also was absolutely lights out. And 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs. I mean, he's that kind of pitch to contact pitcher. Only 5 strikeouts in the 7 innings, but they were just grounding out every at bat. It felt like.
I have no ill will as a Yankee fan towards J-Mo, just because I thought he was decent. I thought he was good. It's cool to see him have so much success though in Texas. I mean, he was with the Cardinals for a little bit last year and a little bit of this year before we got traded. But yeah, it's just so cool to see him lights out in a playoff series. On the other hand, Chapman, I'm very angry about
Chapman,
because he's absolutely
8th.
Shoving right now in the postseason again.
Scoreless 8th for Chapman, scoreless 9th for Jose Leclerc. Rangers shut out the Rays 4-0.
That's probably what you need Chapman in there for now. It's everyone who's using him as a closer, including the Yankees and everything, but maybe you just need him in as the utility man for the 8th inning or something like that, because I guess the pressure's just too much for the 9th inning for him when he comes in when there's nobody on and nobody out.
Bruce Bochy was talking about how they were disappointed that they didn't win the division and that they didn't get a bye, but they're like, you know what, once the game starts, we're not going to care about that. We're just going to be happy to be out there playing some playoff baseball. They were showing the Rangers dugout, and it looked like a little league dugout with how much getting around, jumping around. This is a team that's playing with the right attitude, and the Rays are really going to need to come up with a better game. That game,
and it was at the Trop, right? Wasn't it?
Game 2 just started. It's 0-0 bottom of the first. 19,000 in attendance for the Rays for a home playoff game.
Damn.
I get that it's a 3:00 Tuesday game, but
it is dumb that the MLB...
Minnesota sold out the place.
Did you see the Marlin man was at the Brewers game?
Sorry, not completely. The Marlins game.
Or not the Marlins game.
He was at the Brewers game.
The Brewers. Did I say the Brewers game?
Yeah, that's where he was at.
Yeah, okay.
And he wasn't at the Marlins game, which you'd think.
Yeah. It was. Sorry, that was totally off. That was totally off topic, and I thought I was connecting the dots. I don't know why I was thinking the Twins and the Brewers were the exact same team for some reason for a quick second, but that'll be for later. Yes, going back to Minnesota. Yes.
So for my playoff bracket, who'd you pick to win it all in your bracket?
To win it all, I mean, for me, it came down to the Orioles and the Braves, and I think I have the Braves winning. I think I've got them winning.
Okay,
but I would love to see the Orioles win. I would love to see the Orioles win.
I was like, you got to be different when you make your bracket. You can't just be picking the same team, because if you pick the Braves or the Orioles, you might get the champion right, but you got to get every game right other than that.
Yeah.
So I did something that was probably pretty stupid, and I picked the Toronto Blue Jays.
No.
Because here was my mindset. Here was my mindset. I'm
you
like,
picked
all
the
right.
Blue Jays.
Here
to
was
win?
my mindset. I'm like, all right, the Twins are dog shit. They'll beat the Twins.
Oh my god.
I think they're better than the Astros. They have like the same record and they play in a harder division. I'm like, I think they're on paper better than the Astros.
I don't think so.
And then I was like, the Orioles don't have their top closer, so they could beat the Orioles. And then I had them play the Dodgers in the World Series. I'm like, oh, the Dodgers always choke.
You had the Blue Jays and the Dodgers in the World Series?
Yeah.
God damn.
Because here's the thing. I don't think this is a good way to make brackets, but whenever I make brackets, I'm like, all right, why will this team not win? And I had a reason. I'm like, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just picked a 6 seed to win the World Series. But you know what? We're going to ride it out. Even though they did not look good yesterday. Lost 3-1 to the Twins. Royce Lewis with 2 bobs. He's clearly getting hot at the right time. George Springer with a fat 0 for 5.
I love that you said that the Blue Jays are dog shit, or the Twins are dog shit. But I was like, the Twins are the 6th seed in the American League.
Because the Twins they won the worst division to ever be conceived in sports, and they still have like the worst record in the AL of the playoff teams. But no, they're here to stay. It doesn't matter. They're here to stay. They lit up Kevin Gausman for 3 runs. The Blue Jays used five relievers after that didn't allow a run, but didn't matter. They couldn't score themselves. Yeah, I mean, George Springer 0 for 5, Brandon Bell 0 for 4, Vlad 1 for 4, Bo Bichette went 2 for 4, but like other than that, no one really did anything else. Kiermaier had an RBI single, but I'm going to need to see some offense here in Game 2 because that was just not a good offensive display from the Blue Jays. That was completely disappointing. I don't know who they have on the mound. I think they have Barrios on the mound for Game 2. Hopefully they can get a win here, but I'm telling you, Blue Jays World Series, I don't know.
I don't agree with that one at all.
I don't know.
Like, I know you want to make it different and everything, but
I'm like, the
I would
Phillies,
choose someone else other than the Blue Jays. I mean, I feel like it's different already enough to have the Orioles in there.
Ooh, candidate team get hot.
Well, it's already big to have the Orioles like this high up in the rankings and everything. It would already be different enough to have them win the World Series, you know?
I'm like, everyone's going to pick them. I'm like, everyone's got to pick the Dodgers. I'm like, or the Braves. I'm like, I got to pick someone else.
I got it. I mean, the Braves are just on fire, man. I just genuinely, like, they were undoubtedly the best team in baseball this year in the regular season. Undoubtedly.
I just don't think they have that deep enough pitching. Like, yeah, they have the best lineup in all of baseball by a wide margin, but in the playoffs, damn near every game's ending like 2-1. Like, you need that. You need that pitching.
You do need the pitching, yeah, but as long as you've got the hot bats, you know, I mean, to make up for it, as long as they consistently stay hot.
We just need a Blue Jays win today, and then we're very much alive. D-backs Brewers. The Brewers blew this one. 3-0 lead in the first.
Yeah.
And then the boomstick came out for the Diamondbacks. They completely lit up Corbin Burns in that 3rd inning. Corbin Carroll took him forward at 44 feet. Ketel Marte and Gabriel Moreno also homered. And then just for good measure, Christian Walker added a 2 RBI double. Snakes win 6-3. And this is a Brewers team that I don't know. If their pitching falls apart, they really don't have anything. And they need their pitching to come up in Game 2 because they got thrashed in that game.
Yeah. That was one of the games that I watched yesterday. Not all the way through. We kind of had like the little setup going on, just like with multiple TVs going on and everything. I had work that I had to do, so I couldn't end up finishing watching the games and everything. But yeah, it was a good game so far between the D-backs and the Brewers, you know. So and this is where I could finally say the Marlin man was at this game. Like, it's an appropriate time to actually say that, unlike the first time. So
for shout out Basque Baseball Sabermetric Club at IU. We had like a little watch party for the 2 late games.
Yeah.
And a kid, shout out Jude. Jude's a dog. We need to get Jude on the pod. Jude is great. He was making a $25 bet like every inning.
Oh my God.
And he ended the night up $200.
Jesus. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
He goes, guys, he like announced to everyone, guys, $25. Next pitch from Corbin Burns under 90 miles an hour. $25 wins 80. It's like a 70-mile-an-hour curveball.
God.
He did though. The best one though is he bet on the Brewers not to score in an inning after they already had 2 on, 1 out. He's like, I'm gonna bet him not to score. He's like 25 wins 75 or something like that.
I think I know what that inning. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th inning.
Caught by Evan Longoria, dives, catches it, doubles him off.
God.
He was going insane.
I thought he was talking about the inning where it was Josh Donaldson coming up to the plate, and all he had to do was hit a sacrifice fly into the outfield.
I don't know why Josh Donaldson is getting a playoff start.
All he had to do, and he
point.
blooped it to like just barely beyond the infield.
That was like the at-bat before, I think.
No, it was like 1 out at that point, so all Donaldson had to do was just not ground into a double play.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm tripping. But yeah, I don't know why Josh Donaldson is starting a playoff game. Spend some money, get a better third baseman, Milwaukee. I don't know what you're doing there. But yeah, 12 hits for Milwaukee, only 3 runs. You gotta score more than 3 runs when you get 12 hits. You just have to.
Great game, though. Much higher scoring game than usually is in a playoff.
Yeah. And then lastly, I picked Miami to sweep this series just because they are going in. They were just so incredibly hot, and I looked. Half of their wins are like comeback wins. They have like 10 wins while trailing in the 9th. It's crazy, but they just couldn't touch Zach Wheeler. 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks.
Yeah.
It just wasn't their night. They just couldn't really. Zach Wheeler just absolutely mowed him down. And Jesus Luzardo, I don't think he pitched that badly, but I mean, didn't pitch well enough to win. 4 innings, 3 runs. I mean, the bullpen did, I think, a good job after him, but
it blows my mind that Kyle Schwarber is the leadoff batter for them.
Yeah,
it blows my goddamn mind.
Look, I get
197 batting average. I get it. He has 45 home runs on the year, but every single hit that he's had is a home run. So like,
look, I get that he gets on base. 348 OBP at home, but like he's slowing him down on the bases, man.
Oh my god,
Trey Turner's about to lap him. I don't know. But, I mean, Harper at first...
Is he the leadoff? No, this is just Google. This is just Google popping up with him at first, right?
Yeah, Harper...
I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
No, he hit leadoff last night.
Was it? Okay. God, that's just... Again, just blows my mind. Just blows my mind.
Christian Pache, noted lefty destroyer Christian Pache came through with an RBI. I mean, it's just a deep Philly lineup that... I mean, didn't really explode in that game. It's just they did enough to win. I mean, that park was popping, man. I mean, the bank was rocking. So tonight, currently Rangers Rays tied 0-0 top second. We got Barrios versus Sonny Gray at 4:30 for Blue Jays Twins. I'm thinking Barrios is gonna have a good game.
You think so?
He's got to, man. He's got to. And he's a talented pitcher. He's got a lot of good stuff. I think he's going to come out and shove against his former team, and I think the Blue Jays will end up winning this game because they have no other choice.
I really want the Twins to win this series, man. I would
feel happy for the Twins because they just have been.
That would be.
They
awesome
just have had so much
playoff
utility. Zach Gallen goes for the D-backs game 2 and has a chance to just immediately send him through. I'm loving that chance if I'm a D-backs fan. I'm absolutely loving that.
God.
And I think he's going to get it done. You think
so?
Milwaukee's minus 135 money line. I'm taking Arizona. I think Zach Gallen shoves him to the next round just by sheer will. Because that guy is ridiculous.
You know what? I'm going to call it right now so you know Taylor Swift is the new driving motivator for the Kansas City Chiefs and the entire NFL, correct?
Yeah.
I believe that Vanessa Hudgens is going to be the driving force for the Milwaukee Brewers. She's going to show up to the games.
Who's Vanessa Hudgens?
She is Christian Yelich's wife.
What's so special about her?
Gabriella in High School Musical.
Oh, really?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
I didn't know that.
I'm really showing my hand here to all the sports fans out there. I'm really showing my hand on what my interests were as a kid.
So she's with Christian Yelich now?
Yeah, she's been married to him for a couple of years now, I think.
Oh. Good for them.
She's been to a couple of games.
They're still not winning. Dude, the Snakes are going to take this one. I mean, they got their stud game 2 after already they're winning.
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks will pull it off. But really, I'm happy for both these teams though because none of them have really much playoff experience at all. So.
And then last game, Miami Philly again at night. Braxton Garrett versus Aaron Nola. If there's any team that's gonna barely survive a game 2, it's Miami. I mean, I just don't know if they got it.
Like, we've got so many underdogs, quote unquote, in this year's playoffs, which is why the expansion has been pretty fun, you know. But at the same time, it's just like they're all underdogs for a reason because none of them have any playoff experience, you know. So it's just I want to see them all succeed and move forward, you know, but I just don't know what the likelihood is.
I picked Miami, Milwaukee, Toronto, Tampa Bay. They all lost their first game. So I need them to come back. I want to see the Rays do well, man. That like
I don't. I
get that they have like no fans, but like that's always a team that they're just a gritty team, man. They find a way to grind out wins.
They're a gritty team
with their low payroll.
Oh my God!
I'm hoping they come through today against Texas and at least give us a game 3.
Oh my God!
Because you know they are just.
Oh, how gritty they are! Shut up! Oh my God!
I was about to.
Nothing could be further from the damn truth with that. Oh my God!
What's it called? That's like a running joke in our like baseball coach. Like, oh, they're a gritty team.
They're a gritty team.
I'd let them date my daughter, except Wander Franco. Next, let's go on to what do we got next? College football.
College football.
Let's do college football. God damn it! All right, let's make some picks. Last week.
What is this? Week 6 now?
Yes. Okay. I forgot to post my week 5 picks on my main channel, so I apologize for that. I'll probably just try to post this clip as the main channel video. We'll see. I went 22-4 on my picks. Jackson went 23-3.
Up 2 games.
So he is now up 2 games at 97-23. I'm at 95-25.
97-23, 95-25. Okay.
It's hard to win when you just don't pick upsets. Because, like, I was up 3 games after week 1.
I love that you're starting to make excuses now. Last week you said that. You were like, are you really not going to pick any of the upsets? I'm like, I'm picking all the fucking road games this week.
Yeah, but they was like, oh, Michigan over Nebraska. Like, whoa, okay.
I mean, you never know.
But, like, week 1.
Georgia almost lost to Auburn on the road.
True. I really thought they were going to. But, like, week 1, I picked, like, I got a little aggressive with my upsets, and I ended up being up 3 games. And it's kind of just been downhill. Not even downhill. I'm down 2 games. Like, whatever.
Okay, here's my question for you. So I'm in a sportscasting class right now. We're doing panel discussions. We almost picked this topic, but we ended up going with a different one. Is Georgia still the number 1 team in the country? If you had to pick your top 5 right now, who are in your top 5? And where are they at? Because I want to know what you think about this.
I know you want to put Michigan at 1.
I'm not saying that Michigan is number 1. I'm not saying Michigan's number 1, you know. But
here's the thing.
I don't think.
Yes, Georgia has looked like shaky this year. I just don't know who I'd put ahead of them though.
You don't know?
The only team I would really consider is Michigan. Michigan or like maybe Texas.
That's my thing. It's either Michigan or Texas. Like, I'm not saying undoubtedly that Michigan's the number 1 team in the country, you know, because if they are, like, it's a very unusual team to have as the number 1 team in the country.
I would keep Georgia. If I had to make a top 5, I would keep Georgia at 1. I'd put Michigan at 2. And then after, I think I'd go Texas 3. I'm going with Washington at 4. That team has looked really good. And then I think I'd put Ohio State at 5. And then I'd put Florida State at 6. I think Ohio State's looked a little. I like Florida State. I think Ohio State's looked a little better if I had to pick. But I would keep Georgia at 1. I don't think any of those other teams has like shown enough to like pass them.
It just really surprised me though with the AP poll showing. I'm looking at it right now. The AP poll for this week, for week 6, yeah, Georgia's number 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, Ohio State 4, Florida State 5. Georgia still had 35 first-place votes from AP poll reporters for them as the number 1 team, which just shocked me because it's like, yes, they're undefeated, and yes, like, you know, they're the reigning national champion and everything, but like, it just... they have not looked like the same team at all.
No.
You know, obviously they're a
not
much
as
different team, but like they're much different. They're a much different team in, you know, players, obviously, but even in skill level too. I feel like there's not quite the same level as they have been.
You
So
know, with
it's just-
Georgia, you're going to get the defense. You're going to get the really good defense, and their defense is still top tier. I mean, they gave up 20 points to Auburn, whatever.
But that's not the point, though. The point is that it was a really close game the entire time.
I know.
The offense wasn't,
The offense is just, they don't have, other than Brock Bowers, who is just by far and away the best tight end in college football. Like, I'm drafting him next year in all my fantasy football drafts if I can. That guy is a lunatic. But, like, other than that, they just don't have the same, like, playmakers on offense. Like, they don't have a George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a Darnell Washington. They don't have, okay, as much as I like to rag on Stetson Bennett,
I love ragging on Stetson Bennett.
Carson Beck is, he's got some learning to do, I'll say.
Well, it's because it's easy having a 35-year-old man as your quarterback leading a bunch of 18-year-olds to a national championship.
But Carson Beck, their current QB,
with 10 years of experience as a quarterback for the University of Georgia.
Didn't even graduate, by the way.
Didn't graduate?
No.
That's the funniest fucking part about that whole thing. Oh my God, I did not know that, and I can't wait to tell that to people.
Because he didn't. Who is calling me? I am in the middle of something. It's my mom. I'll get to you. I'll just
put her on the phone.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Quincy, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm in the middle of recording Bloomington Buddies. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, I do not. I hope you guys are having a great recording. I'll catch you later.
All right, I love you.
Love you. Goodbye.
I love that. That's fantastic.
I thought she was going to actually say something, but she's like, I don't want to bother you.
Damn it. I wish she did say something, but I love just how quickly she wrapped it up. She's just like, nope, I'll talk to you later. I love you. Goodbye.
That was a missed opportunity, I feel
That's funny.
That was a missed opportunity. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Stetson Bennett didn't even graduate.
That's amazing.
Because, oh, my God. He was there for like 8 years and just didn't go to class. Like, why... At that point, like, why would you? Like, you know you're making so much NIL money.
I love picturing him as a used car salesman right now. Like, that's where my dream.
He got, like, I know he got arrested for, like, public intoxication.
Yep. Like,
for a while.
A week after the national championship or something like that.
All the memes after the national championship was like him partying. They're like, what do you kids listen to nowadays? Or something like that. But he's a lot better than Carson Beck. Carson Beck, I like. He's a real game manager. He won't go out and lose you the game.
He's such a gritty player. You know?
Like, here's the thing: Carson Beck will not lose you the game. But in college football, to win a national title, you need someone that's going to go out and win you a game. You need someone like, if you look at the teams in the top 5, Quinn Ewers is a quarterback that'll go out and win you a game. What's his name? Travis for Florida State. That's a QB that'll go out and win you a game. Michael Penix can go win you a game.
Caleb Williams can
go win you a game. Bo Nix can go win you a game. Can Kyle McCord? Can Drew Aller?
If you're talking to Ohio State fans, can Kyle McCord go win you a game? Did you see what he did in the Notre Dame game? Look at the way that he did not let the pressure get to him in that moment. Yeah, because he almost fucking threw a pick and he got super lucky in that final drive there. It was in the guy's hands and he just couldn't make. Oh my God! But yeah, Kyle McCord could handle the pressure. He'll lead your team to a victory.
Can JJ McCarthy go win your team a game?
I mean, I haven't had to have that worry yet so far. And I mean, from last year, I'll be honest. I'll be transparent. In the TCU game, we got close, but no cigar at the end.
I will say he did win them the Ohio State game last year because the whole mindset.
He and Donovan Edwards won the game. Donovan Edwards was on fucking fire.
But especially in the first half, Ohio State was like, we're not letting them run the ball. We're stacking the hell out of the box. We will give up the one-on-one matchup and make J.J. McCarthy beat us through the air.
Yeah, and he did.
And he did.
He did beat them through the air.
But, like, come big game time, can he do that again?
That first half, of the Ohio State game, yes, JJ won the half for them. Donovan Edwards won the second half. Donovan Edwards was
I think Donovan
unbelievable
Edwards is
that
better
game.
than Blake Corum.
That's something
opinion.
I think my brother actually thinks too. My older brother thinks that Donovan Edwards is actually better than Blake Corum. I don't know if I necessarily 100% believe that, but there's the argument to be had. The argument is to be had.
Are you putting anyone at 1 besides Georgia?
That's the thing is like, I'm with you though, is the thing. And like,
I'm kind of under the impression that this year in college football, nobody's good.
there are a couple of channels on YouTube that I found that gave their polls, and a couple of them had Michigan at 3.
Behind Georgia and who, like Texas?
They had Georgia at number 1. They put Michigan down, and then they put, I believe it was either Texas or Florida State or something like that at number 2. And I was just like, what?
Look, I like
And
Florida State.
Their whole reasoning for it was because they were like, well, you know, Michigan is just like, we know nothing about them. We know nothing about Michigan is the thing. Like, we know they're good, but that's about it. And I'm like, so that's a reason to like knock them down a peg? Like, what? That made no sense.
I
to
guess
me.
they haven't played anyone good, and they won't until, oh my God, they won't until week 9. We'll see.
I've been admitting ever since the season started that we don't have a good schedule.
Yeah.
I've been admitting since the beginning that we don't have
That's part of
a
why.
strong schedule.
Yeah. Because this guy made a point. He goes, other than Ohio State and Penn State, if you like take the Purdue's opponents like East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, IU, Michigan State, Purdue, Maryland, you make an all-star team of those 10 teams. Like, you take the best players at each position from those 10 teams. Do they beat Michigan?
No.
I don't think they do. Like, okay, at
The answer is no.
like at QB you could take Tua's little brother from Maryland. Okay, you take Jalen Lucas from IU.
I'm sorry, but that's the
like, no.
dumbest hypothetical question I've ever heard in my life.
But
That is not at all an argument that I would ever make to belittle Ohio State. And I would do a lot of things to belittle Ohio State, but that's a dumb argument right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was just the point.
Hypothetically, if you had to make an all-star team, which would never fucking happen ever, and then put them all against
But like
just
that
Michigan,
just shows that
is a dumb argument.
that just shows though how bad their schedule is though until those last 3 games.
Again, I admit it's not a strong schedule. It is not, but they've got they've got a lot of the same guys from last year. They've got essentially like 90% of the same guys from last year, you know? So it's still a strong team. And Michigan has proven how far they can go with this
They'll
squad.
sleepwalk to 9-0 and then they'll have their big game against Penn State and then eventually Ohio State. And the jury's still out to see who wins that game. All right, it's time for picks.
Yeah.
So, first game, Friday game, we got 2 just pitifully bad teams. Nebraska at Illinois.
So let's see. Yeah, Nebraska is 3-2. Who have they beaten? Louisiana Tech and Northern Illinois.
Some just powerhouse teams.
Illinois is 2-5 as well.
Illinois is favored by 3.5.
God, this is a bad game.
I'm going to take Illinois just because they get it at home. And Nebraska has just struggled so mightily on the road. In addition to them struggling in every game, they just struggle even worse on the road.
I might just play to show you up. I might take Nebraska for this one, just for a different sake.
Because Illinois is also bad.
To make the race a little bit more interesting, you know, and to make this game more fun to watch. So
Illinois is also bad.
Illinois is
They
bad.
got-
Yes.
Trashed by Purdue last week. 44-9 to a bad Purdue
Remember
team.
when you were trying to tell me last week, you were like, Illinois could make some noise a little bit. I'm like, nah, Purdue's going to fucking stomp them at home. Like, Purdue's not good or
I
anything,
also picked
but, like,
Purdue.
Purdue's going to fucking stomp them.
I thought it would be a close game just because Purdue had also not looked good, but yeah, they're better than. I think IU might be Illinois when they play. That's how bad Illinois is. I'm saving the Texas OU game for last.
Texas OU game, okay.
Them and Georgia Kentucky are the 2 games of the week.
Okay.
So I'm going to save those for last.
Okay.
Next one.
I'm excited for that Georgia-Kentucky game.
Next one. This is a team I've been hyping up a lot, and they've lived up to the hype that I've given them so far, at least. That's Maryland. They're 5-0 with 5 particularly not close wins, including taking our beloved behind the woodshed for 3 hours and just giving them a big old-fashioned beatdown.
Our beloved.
44-7 against Indiana. Indiana, thank God.
44-17.
44-17, my bad. At least they're on a bye this week. We don't have to watch them play. But yeah, I watched the first quarter of that game. It was 20-3, and then I turned that shit off.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
They got to go at Ohio State. Do they make like any noise in this game, or do they give Ohio State a scare? Maybe.
I think they can definitely contend. I'm not going to say that they're going to win the game or anything.
Ohio State's favored by 20 for those.
I think they can. I think they can make a little bit of noise this week. I don't think they're going to win. Give me Ohio State for this game, just because it's going to be really, really hard to win in Columbus.
I think if this game's at Maryland, like if it's like a night game at Maryland, we got a whole different story.
It is. It's different. The spread is much different.
But I will say Maryland plus 20, not looking too bad if I'm a betting man, which I'm not. But
put down $10 or something like that on the game.
I am going to take Ohio State, but I think Maryland will at least hang around for the first half.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Ohio State for this one, but I am excited for it because I think Maryland could make some noise with it.
Next one is
could at least scare them.
All right. Do you know the only 3 undefeated SEC teams left?
The only 3 undefeated. So Georgia, SEC teams. Shit. God, I don't anymore, actually.
All right, it's Georgia.
LSU is not undefeated. No, they're gone.
They
gone.
have 2
they're
losses.
done. They're done. They're
it's
done.
Georgia, Kentucky, and Missouri.
Seriously.
And Missouri plays.
I forgot Mizzou was still
Missouri
undefeated.
plays LSU at home this week.
Oh, this will be a good one.
Do they stay undefeated?
God. Do we know what the spread is?
LSU's favored by 6.
Oh.
They did beat Kansas State at home, but other than that, it's some struggle games. Like struggle against Vandy, 7-point win against Memphis,
Yeah.
4-point win over Middle Tennessee. I unfortunately think LSU's going to beat them and beat them badly. Because okay, if you want to talk about like what Missouri has going for them, they got a decent quarterback.
A pretty decent offense.
Luther
overall.
Burden is a dog. That's their top receiver. He was a 5-star out of East St. Louis, which by the way is just the best high school sports wise in Illinois. Like what's it called? My mom was a cheerleader in high school, and she said that one of the guys on their high school basketball team played at IU. I can't remember his name, but they had a guy that played at IU, like under Bobby Knight. And they made the national title, the state title for Illinois in basketball, and they got murdered by East St. Louis. East St. Louis just stomped them. But Luther Burden, great receiver for Missouri. I just think LSU's better.
God, I almost want to. I'm going to take Missouri. I'm going to take Mizzou.
If Missouri wins,
the
they're in the national title. Not that. They're the national.
No.
I slipped. I meant to say national conversation. I didn't mean to say national title conversation.
I think Mizzou.
This is in 2007.
It's a home game for them. Yeah, LSU's going to be tough, but I think they could pull it off. I think they could do it.
They definitely can. We'll see. Next, we got Rutgers at Wisconsin.
What have these two teams been up to?
Just
Rutgers is 4-1.
They're both just kind of mid.
Or no, Wisconsin's 4-1. I mean, Rutgers
is 4-1. Wisconsin's 3-1.
I can't do math. Yeah, Rutgers is 4-1. Okay.
Wisconsin's favored by 13.
Really? They're favored. Okay.
I think they're gonna win too.
Wisconsin.
Rutgers is kind of a paper tiger, in my opinion.
I like the offensive performance from Wisconsin. But you know what? Just again to keep it interesting, I'm gonna go with Rutgers. You took Wisconsin?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with Rutgers.
He fell for the trap. He fell for me saying he don't pick no upsets.
Yeah. I did fall for the trap, and you know what? I'm gonna be up 6 games next week.
6 games.
Betting on it right now.
All right. Next, we have an undefeated Marshall going at NC State.
The hell has NC State been up to?
They lost
3-5.
to Louisville. They're 3-2.
Or Jesus Christ, I can't. I'm 3-4-5 is what that would be. 3-4-5.
NC State's favored by 6.5. Does Marshall come in and, I guess, keep their undefeated season alive?
Who's Marshall been playing?
They beat Virginia Tech, I know. Who, by the way, did actually beat Pitt badly last week. I got to apologize to them and Baylor, the 2 teams that I've really been making fun of a lot. They both got good wins. They both got a win over Pitt, and Baylor beat UCF. So you know what? Sorry, I'm sniffling like a motherfucker.
I might do NC State for this one. It's a home game for them.
Yeah,
I think they could snap it.
I'm gonna agree. I think this is not like I don't think they're gonna come out and like overlook them. I think
No.
I think NC State's gonna actually put their best game out there and beat Marshall because. Like, if Marshall was, like, unranked, or I guess they are unranked, but if they, like, had a loss or whatever, they may have over... I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Next, 13th ranked Washington State is at UCLA.
UCLA has only lost once.
They lost to Utah.
Lost to Utah, but kept it close, though. Only 14-7 loss.
Utah lost to Oregon State. That was one of the games that I got right. That was one of the games that actually saved me a little bit.
God, you're lucky.
I will say Washington State is they're a gritty team. They know how to grind out wins when they need. They're just an incredibly gritty team. They are.
Just because you said that, it makes me want to take UCLA because you said Washington State's gritty. But unfortunately, I do have to agree with you. They've just fucking stomped everybody that they've ever played. They've put up a lot of points.
This is a determined team that is trying to get a conference to take them.
God damn.
It sounds like the Big 12 might be taking Oregon State and Washington State.
The ESPN matchup predictor for this game has UCLA winning 66.5%.
They're favored on the spread, too. They're favored by 3.5.
Give me Washington State, man. I think Washington State's going to do it.
They're going to find a way.
Yeah, they're going to find a way to win.
I'm also taking.
They've put up that shocks me given the number of points that they've scored this year so far.
50, 31, 60.
64 points, yeah.
They're also coming off of a bye week, and well-coached teams do not look like shit after a bye week.
Yeah.
That is something that will will give you a sign of whether a coach is good or not, is how well their team looks after a bye week. And they're coming off a bye week. I think they win. Next game,
I think they got this.
Virginia Tech at Florida State.
Give me Florida State.
Virginia Tech, good job beating Pitt last week. That was a game we both got wrong, but
nice job.
Florida State should win.
Yeah, give me Florida State.
All right, next we got what has honestly becoming one of the best rivalries in the SEC just because of the bickering that these two coaches do and the fact that this is the only team that Texas A&M prepares for all year. Texas A&M hosts Alabama.
Did they beat Alabama last year? I can't remember. Texas A&M beat somebody big last year.
So that was the year A&M was like 5-7, but they almost did. That was like the only game they prepared for like all year. They lost by like 6.
I swear they beat someone big last year. I'm trying to remember.
They beat LSU at the end of the year, I think.
That's what it was, yeah.
This is going to be a huge game, and both these teams are they're the only undefeated SEC West teams in conference play. They both lost an out-of-conference game. Bama lost to Texas, and I lost to Miami. What is this, 2002? I don't know. But this could be for the division. Could very well be for the division here.
This is going to be a good game. I mean, both teams only have one loss so far. I mean... God, the fact that A&M lost to Miami, though, is just such a...
They got thrashed by Miami.
Gave up 48 points in that game.
All right, I'm going to pick Bama. Also, did you watch any of the Arkansas A&M game?
I did not, no.
Okay, if you watched that game, that looked like two bad teams playing. Both those,
Arkansas and A&M.
they just neither team looked that great. I think A&M will hang around because it's their Super Bowl pretty much. It's a home not night game, 3:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
Still though, Kyle Field's going to be insane. Bama's only favored by 2. They'll have
Seriously?
yeah.
I don't understand the spread anymore this week. Like, this week is, like, the exact opposite of what I think
They'll hang around. They're just not as good as Bama. They're just not.
I think I got to play it safe and go with Bama, but I would be very excited if Texas won this game.
Yeah, it'd be good for them if they won. Here's the thing: even if they beat,
They're definitely ranked if they beat them.
They're probably top 15 if they beat them.
I don't know about top 15 because they still lost to Miami.
They'd be the only undefeated. Well, that makes Miami look really good if they beat Bama. But even though I don't think Miami's that good either. Well, I don't know.
I think they would.
See.
I think they'd be in. Well, top 25 is not saying much. They would definitely be ranked. I think if they beat.
We only
Bama,
have
obviously
8 minutes. We kind of gotta go quickly.
Yeah.
All right, quickly. Syracuse at UNC.
UNC.
I agree. Purdue at Iowa.
Oh God, Caden McNamara is out now. So
Is he really? I didn't know that.
yeah. I think he broke his shoulder bone or something like that.
I still think Purdue. I can't talk. I still think that Iowa wins just because they still have the defense.
Yeah.
And is whoever they have after Caden McNamara going to be that much of a downgrade?
Not much, but yeah, I'd say Iowa. I'm gonna go with Iowa.
Wake Forest at Clemson.
Give me Clemson.
Clemson.
They're at home.
They almost pulled it out against Florida State that 1 week, but
Yeah.
they just couldn't do it.
Clemson.
Revenge game. Vanderbilt at Florida. Vandy did beat Florida last year.
They did. Florida lost last week to Kentucky.
They got embarrassed by Kentucky. That was an embarrassing loss.
It was an embarrassment, yes, but it was also a road game and all that. I'm gonna probably go with Florida. Yeah, Vanderbilt's not good.
Vandy lost to UNLV.
Yeah,
so
Vandy's not good. So.
UCF at Kansas. Kansas damn near beat Texas. They came really close to winning that game.
UCF at Kansas, you said?
Yeah. UCF just lost to Baylor. I'm gonna take Kansas.
Yeah, give me Kansas.
I feel like I'm about to sneeze like every 2 seconds. Sorry. Colorado at Arizona State.
This is definitely a game. Yeah, Colorado, I think you can go on the road and win this one. Yeah, Arizona State's not good this year.
They're bad.
They're
They still scored 28 on USC, which I'm telling you we'll talk more about USC when we get there, but that USC defense is going to cost them at some point. Every year there's a Lincoln Riley led
That's the thing about that team is like they're really good, but their defense is
every year there's a Lincoln Riley led defense that costs.
They got beat by Arizona State. Got beat by Fresno State 29.
They damn near lost to Southern Utah. God. Michigan at Minnesota.
Michigan.
The battle of the little brown jug. I read up on the story about that. Basically, Michigan's coach left his brown jug at the stadium, and Minnesota's coach took it in the 1800s or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I want my jug back." And then Minnesota's coach said, "Beat us, and you can have it back." And they've just been trading it for 100 years now.
Some traditions in college football are so fucking dumb.
I like it. I think it's great.
It's funny, but it's really. That's the origin story.
All right, next. Notre Dame at Louisville. Louisville's 5-0 and ranked. They're in the same spot Duke was. They get the game at home.
Here, Louisville, you said?
I'm taking Notre Dame. I think Duke is Duke should have won that game, dude. Duke was so close to winning that game. They allowed up 13-14 and allowed a 4th and 16. You cannot be doing that, man.
And they gave Notre Dame the exact same treatment that they gave Ohio State after they beat Notre Dame. They're like, "Oh, Notre Dame wins a gritty win over Duke."
Over Duke.
Over Duke. Oh,
the thing is, though, Duke's a hell of a lot better than Louisville. I got to see Louisville play in person. They're not that great.
Yeah.
This is a team that couldn't score in the second half against IU and needed a goal line stop to win that game. I think Notre Dame wins.
Give me Notre Dame.
Even though it's a home game for Louisville, I think Notre Dame will win. Arkansas at Ole Miss. I think
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss got a great win against LSU. Great win against LSU.
Really good. Really good.
Georgia Tech at Miami. I'm just waiting for them. I think Miami wins, but just so y'all know,
Georgia Tech is just not good though.
Georgia Tech's awful. They're awful. Almost beat Louisville though. I'm waiting for the Miami collapse. I'm waiting for them to get embarrassed at UNC next week.
Watch this be the week that it happens though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Give me the U.
Georgia Tech's pitiful. All right, I was close to making this one of the feature games because I think this will be a really good game. Fresno State at Wyoming. This is a real gritty Wyoming. I'm gonna stop. I'll stop.
Oh my God.
I'll stop.
The title for this episode is going to be a real gritty episode of Bloomington Buddies.
I'll make that the title. I'll make sure I do that. But
A lot of gritty matchups in week 6. How about
this
that?
is a Wyoming team that their fans will pop out, especially against a ranked Fresno State. Wyoming, if they played a cupcake instead of Texas, they'd also be ranked. And they almost beat Texas. They were tied with Texas in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, they made the game interesting with Texas is the thing.
I think Wyoming wins it at home.
God damn it. I wanted to do that, but I want to be different now because I think we've only disagreed on 2 games so far. So
you're going to take Fresno?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take Fresno State.
I really quickly want to see a spread because Wyoming's got a good team. They will make. I think Wyoming will make like a decent bowl game, not like a New Year's Six or anything, but like
I'm gonna seem like the guy that's playing it safe because I'm in the lead, but I really actually did want to take Wyoming for this game.
Fresno's favored by 6. That's a lot more than I don't know. I'm kind of surprised why. I don't know. We'll
ESPN's
see.
got him at a 60% winning.
I think Wyoming wins. All right. 2 very mid Texas teams. My friend sent me a picture. There's actually like an old like World War II battle that's called like just the Battle of Mid. We got Texas Tech and Baylor.
Texas Tech and Baylor.
Texas Tech's 1-point favorites. Baylor's at home.
God. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech for this one. I mean, oh God,
you know what?
Just
for the sake of being different,
I don't even think this is a battle of mid teams. I think this is just a battle of bad teams.
I'm going to take Baylor because they are coming off of a win and they're coming back home. They got some momentum. I'm going to take Baylor.
I'll take Texas Tech.
All right.
They beat Houston 49-28.
Now I got to watch that game and be stressed about it. God, jeez.
I mean, Texas Tech has been able to put up some good numbers.
TCU
so yeah, I'm gonna take
at Iowa State.
TCU at Iowa State.
I think TCU wins pretty easily.
Yeah, give me TCU for that one.
Real quick, Colorado State at Utah State. I just needed another game.
I know nothing about Utah State. I know Colorado State isn't that good.
Whoever you pick, I'm picking the other team.
Seriously.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to go Utah State, I guess. Yeah.
Colorado State's favored by 2, so it's like a really close. Yeah.
ESPN's got Utah State winning 71%.
The actual spread. So you're taking Utah State?
Yeah, I'll take Utah State.
All right, then I'm going with Henry Blackbird and Colorado State.
God.
All right, next, Oregon State at Cal. We're taking Oregon State.
Yep.
That's not even a question. And then Arizona at USC.
Give me USC.
There's gonna be a game. I don't know what game it's gonna be. There will be a game though throughout this season where this USC defense costs them. It costs them big.
I don't think it's going to be against Arizona though. If anything, it'll be next week against Notre Dame
or Utah. They got Washington and Oregon 2 of the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right, featured game time. Undefeated Kentucky heads into Athens to play the number 1 ranked Bulldogs. If they win, they're the only undefeated team in the East, or besides maybe Missouri. Does Kentucky have what it takes to pull off the upset?
If you asked me last week, I would have said no. But now that I've seen how Georgia plays, I mean, granted, it was a rivalry game against Auburn and everything, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. I'm going to say Georgia still walks away with it, though.
I think at home they come out and perform, and they win, just because it's at home.
Yeah.
If it was a road game, I would think about it. Even if it was a road game, I think I'd probably still take Georgia.
You think so?
We'll see. All right. Game of the week. Oklahoma and Texas. Why this is always a noon game just pisses me off. Like, make this a night game, at least sometimes. The FPI likes Oklahoma at 54%. This is an Oklahoma team that has been flying so under the radar. They haven't given up more than 20 points in a game yet. They got a stud at QB in Dylan Gabriel. Dude, I think this is a really evenly matched game. I think more than people. I'm always the first to rag on Oklahoma just because their defense is always so bad. Mm-hmm. But Brett Venables, defensive-minded coach, had an awful defense last year. But my friend's like, just give him a year to get some players. And I'm like, oh, no, they'll still be bad. Well, he's got his players in, and he's got them playing well.
I mean, it's not much saying it, but he did give up 20 points last weekend against Iowa State. So, and I'm sure a lot of that was garbage time. I was going to say, I'm sure a lot of it was garbage time, too.
I'm not
so it's like
too concerned about that. I think this is just... Texas is favored by 6.5.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna take Texas. I did all that hyping up for Oklahoma, but Texas thrashed Bama's defense, who's also looked really good. It'll be a great game. I think Texas really wins good. Like 31-28 or something. I think Oklahoma would stay in this game, which is something I would not have said at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I would have had Texas winning 49-0 like they did last year. This is an Oklahoma team that's coming together. I don't think they'll win, but it'll be a good game.
For the sake of building up tension and suspense, I think I'm going to take Oklahoma. I'll take Oklahoma for this one. It'll be a fun matchup. I think they'll definitely stay in it. I really don't care about either of these teams is the thing, but I know it's going to be a fun matchup and it's going to be a good time. I think Oklahoma will definitely keep it close in the game.
So you're taking Oklahoma?
I'll take Oklahoma.
We have a lot of differences. Nebraska, Illinois, different. LSU, Missouri, different. Rutgers, Wisconsin, different. What else is different?
Washington State.
Utah State, Colorado State is different. Yep. Fresno State, Wyoming.
You told me straight up you were just going to pick the other one.
I'm taking whoever you don't, just so this game's more interesting. I like that I got Colorado State in that one too, though, because I think they got some confidence from that Colorado game. We'll see. We got to get out of here. There's someone after us, so
yeah.
Take care, everybody.